The Exodus, Episode 1, Whispers in the Dark. Egypt lies silent. It is a nation stunned, devastated by plagues. But through the darkness, a whisper stirs. It speaks of freedom and hope, and it's coming from the Hebrews. They speak of a leader, a deliverer, one called Moses. He stands at the edge of town, staring toward the great palace of Pharaoh. His heart pounds like a drum against his ribs. Fear claws at his throat. Should he really do this? Is he really about to defy the most powerful man in Egypt? But the whispers grow louder now. He can hear them calling him to do what he knows he must. This is what God has told him to do. And so, taking a deep breath, trying to still the fear that threatens to overwhelm him, Moses begins to walk toward the palace. He finds Aaron waiting for him. Pharaoh's heart is hardened. Aaron says, "He won't let our people go. You shouldn't have come. Now they may kill us." But Moses shakes his head. "I know what God can do. He will break Pharaoh's heart." Then, hand on Aaron's shoulder, he walks on. And now he is in the great throne room before Pharaoh himself. Every head turns to stare at him. But Moses doesn't care. He raises his voice and cries, "Let my people go." Silence. Then Pharaoh bursts out laughing. "You want me to let them go? Why?" "Because God said so," Moses says simply. "Oh, you think your God is so powerful," Pharaoh scoffs. "Well, show me a sign. Do something great." Moses looks at him, surprised by the challenge. "Very well, I will do just that." And turning away, he leaves the palace. As soon as he's gone, Pharaoh calls his magicians to him. "Go," he says, "find out what this is all about. What does this upstart think he can do? Show me how wrong he is. Prove to me that there is no God but me." And so they leave, too, to follow Moses. Moses comes to the river Nile and dips his staff into the water. As he does, a terrible chill crawls up his arm. All around him, the water churns, then begins to boil. Steam rises and swirls. And when it clears, the river runs crimson. Fish leap from the water, then fall back down, dead. The air grows thick with the stench of blood. Then Pharaoh's men arrive. "Look," one of them cries. "The rivers turn to blood. There isn't a fish alive in it." When Pharaoh sees this, he laughs. "So what does this mean? That his God is more powerful than me? Never." Then Moses lifts up his hand and cries, "If Pharaoh won't let the Hebrews go, the Nile will turn to blood, and not just the Nile, all the waters in Egypt, even the waters that are in the sea. So then, Pharaoh, will you let the Hebrews go, or will you let God punish you? Will you let God deal with you and your armies and your people?" Pharaoh sneers, "Never." So Moses turns away and dips his staff into the water once more. "As you wish," he cries. Then, before anyone can stop him, the water boils once more. Once more the steam rises, and when it clears, the Nile runs crimson once more. The fish are dead once more. And then it happens again and again and again until the river is so full of blood it stinks to high heaven. As Moses walks back to the palace, the words of the magicians echo in his ears. They're right. What can they do against God? If only Pharaoh would listen. But he won't. And so now there is only one thing to do. Before the people, Moses strikes the Nile with his staff. "As you wish," he cries. When Moses returns to the palace, Pharaoh is waiting for him. "Now it's over, Moses," he says. "Bring me your staff, let me break it." He takes the staff, raises it high, then brings it crashing down. But when the dust clears, the staff is whole. Again, Pharaoh is angry, but Moses is calm. "God's power cannot be stopped," he says. "Why don't you bend the knee? Let my people go. Let them worship the Lord their God." But Pharaoh shakes his head. "No gods but me," he says. "If you want to leave, you may. Leave now and never come back. But the Hebrews, they will stay here in Egypt, whether they like it or not." And with that, he throws Moses out of the palace. Outside, the people gather around Moses. "What did Pharaoh say?" they ask. "Did he let us go? Did he finally set us free?" But Moses only shakes his head. Pharaoh won't let them go. As days pass, the whispers begin again. The Egyptians hear them, too, and they're frightened. What could they mean? Could the Hebrews' God be more powerful than Pharaoh's? But Pharaoh pays no heed to the whispers. "There is no God but me," he cries. "All hail, Pharaoh," the people cry back. And so, with each passing day, God sends another plague upon the Egyptians. Frogs, thousands of them, pour out of the river and crawl all over the ground. Gnats rise up out of the dust, filling the skies. Flies darken the sky. The animals drop dead in the streets. Boils spread across skin. They're hot and itchy. They stink and they hurt. Rich and poor alike cry out in misery. Then, as if that wasn't enough, one day the sky darkens and a hailstorm comes crashing down. Hailstones the size of fists pound the ground. They smash the plants, shatter the trees. Crops wither and die. People cower inside their houses as the storm rages on. Finally, it ends. The sky clears and a brilliant sun shines down. But the damage is done. Everywhere, there is nothing but destruction. Pharaoh is beside himself with grief. If only it would stop. If only he could make it stop, then maybe, just maybe, he could win back the respect of his people. Moses, he cries, come here. Make it stop. Please, just make it stop. And Moses does come, though when he does, he finds Pharaoh kneeling before the altar of Ra, praying desperately for an end to the storm. End it, Pharaoh cries. Make it stop. I'll do anything. Anything at all. Let my people go, Moses says simply, and I will ask God to end the storm. Pharaoh hesitates. Then, unable to bear the thought of more destruction, more shame, he agrees. Moses goes outside, raises his hands to God, and asks for the storm to be over. And immediately it is. The sun shines down warmly and brightly. Birds tweet in the trees. A gentle breeze blows. Soothingly, the flowers nod their heads. It seems like paradise itself. But Pharaoh is only thinking of one thing. Do you see? He cries. Do you see? I told you I would end the storm. I am a god. I am a god who can end storms and hailstones and boils and flies and frogs and blood. Moses looks at him sadly. No, he says. You didn't end the storm. God ended the storm. Pharaoh, you did not ask God to stop the plague. Instead, you made a deal with me, and I'm afraid that means you have hardened your heart even more against God. Don't presume to tell me how to rule, Pharaoh snarls. I am Pharaoh, and I will do as I please. Then he turns and walks away. Once more, the whispers begin to spread. This time, they speak of a final plague, a dreadful plague that will surely come. That night, Moses calls the people to him. Midnight, he says. At midnight, every firstborn son in Egypt will die. Every firstborn son, every firstborn bull, every firstborn lamb. And so tonight, you must sacrifice a lamb without blemish, without spot. You will take the lamb and put the blood above your doorposts. And when you do that, God will pass over your house, and the angel of death will pass over you. Your firstborn will not die. As midnight tolls, a horrible cry erupts across the land. The Egyptians clutch at their throats. The Hebrews look on in horror. What is happening? Then Moses steps forward, dips his finger in some blood, and touches the doorposts. It's a simple ceremony, but in that moment, it feels like the fate of the world hangs in the balance. Outside, the angel of death wings his way across the land, entering house after house. But when he sees the blood, he passes over, staying away. At the first light of dawn, the Hebrews look out. The angel of death has passed over. Their firstborns are safe. But the Egyptians gasp. Every firstborn is dead. Every firstborn ox, every firstborn lamb. Pharaoh's son is dead. He's lying cold and lifeless on the floor. And when Pharaoh sees him, he collapses. Finally, Pharaoh collapses, overwhelmed with grief and rage. It's my fault, he whispers. It's all my fault. Oh, why didn't I listen to Moses? Why didn't I listen to God? He turns to Moses. Quickly, get out of here. Go, leave now. Take your people with you. Go, leave my sight forever. Don't ever come back. And as the Hebrews leave, as they flee Egypt and leave Pharaoh behind, he watches them go. Rage stirs within him. He's lost his son. He's lost face. He's lost everything. He will never forgive the Hebrews. He will never forgive Moses. He is Pharaoh, and he is not finished. To be continued.